Hello, future travelers. Welcome back to Legalopolis. Are you currently on an L-2 visa and want to switch to an F-1 student visa so that you can continue your studies in the United States? Maybe your parents' or spouse's L-1 visa is about to expire and you're already enrolled in school. Or perhaps you're looking to take advantage of the unique opportunities that come with an F-1 visa, like on campus jobs or OPT after graduation. If any of this hits home, you are in the right place. In today's video, we are going to break down everything you need to know about your transitioning from an L2 to an F1 visa so that you can stay focused on your education and make the most of your time here in the United States. Now let's do a brief recap of L2 visa. An L2 visa is a dependent visa issued to the family members, that is spouse and unmarried children under 21 years of age, of L1 visa holders. L1 visa holders are foreign nationals working in the United States as intra-company transferees in managerial, executive or specialized knowledge roles for a multinational company. And the L2 visa enables the dependents of L1 visa holders to join them in the United States, and it allows the L2S, that is the spouses, to study and work in the United States, and L2Y, that is L2 children, to attend school and college in the United States. However, L2 visa does not grant work authorization to the dependent children of L1 visa holders. And on the other hand, an F1 visa is a non-immigrant student visa for individuals who wish to study full-time at an accredited academic institution in the United States. And transitioning from an L2 visa to an F1 visa involves changing your status from dependent of L1 visa holder to a student visa holder. And so, let's dive straight into the process of transitioning from an L2 to an F1 visa. Now, friends, as you are aware, if you are in the United States and you want to switch to a student status, there are two ways to do so. Number one, you can leave the United States, apply for an F1 visa at a US consulate or embassy, and then re-enter the United States as a student. Friends, I've covered this process in detail in my video on F1 visa, including how to apply and succeed in the visa interview. Do check it out, it's going to be very helpful. And another way is you can apply to change your current status from L2 to F1 from within the United States without leaving the country. And as you are aware, in this video, we will look into transitioning from L2 to an F1 status while staying here in the United States. So friends, first let's have a look at the eligibility criteria. In order to be eligible for a status change while staying in the United States, you must meet all of these conditions. Number one, your I-94 status must be valid at the time you are applying for change. Number two, you must have maintained your current I-94 status for a minimum of 90 days before you apply for a change of your status. This shows that you've been following the rules of your current visa for a sufficient period of time. Number three, you must not have violated the conditions of your L2 status. Number 4. You must be enrolled in a degree program and maintain good academic standing. Number 5. Your primary reason for requesting the status change should be to become a full-time student. And number 6. You must not have committed any crimes or actions that can make you ineligible to get an F1 status. Next, let's look at the steps involved in the process for applying for an F1 visa status. Step number 1. You must have applied to and been accepted into the study program by a US Student and Exchange Visitor Program Certified School, that is SEVP Certified School. Step number 2. Apply for a change of status I-20 request. You must obtain a change of status I-20 form from your school's DSO to change your immigration status while in the United States. The DSO, that is designated school official, should state change of status as the reason for issuing Form I-20. If you receive a PDF version of the form from your DSO, remember to print it and sign the first page once you receive it. Step number 3. Pay the I-901 CVIS fee. Now, in order to pay the I-901 CVIS fee, which is required to maintain your status in the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, you need details from Form I-20. This includes your CVIS ID number starting with N, which is found on the top right side of the first page of Form I-20. You will also need to provide your name, address, date of birth, and of course the school code. Ensure you pay the fee before applying for your visa or changing your status. Step number 4, filing Form I-539, which is the application to extend or change non-immigrant status with USCIS. Now, when submitting Form I-539, you'll need to provide specific supporting documents to prove your current lawful status. These include number 1, passport. Provide a copy of your passport, including all pages with photo and biographical information and the current expiration date. Ensure your passport is valid for at least 6 months into the future, and if you're waiting for a new passport, include your current passport and proof of renewal application from your home country's embassy or consulate. Number 2, submit a copy of your visa page. However, if you are a Canadian citizen, a visa is not required. Next, include a copy of your I-94 or I-797 approval notice to show your current status, which can be downloaded from the CBP website. Additionally, provide a signed copy of your change of status I-20 form issued by your DSO, and also provide a receipt of payment of the CVIS I-901 fee. Next document is proof of enrollment. If you are a newly admitted student, then you must provide a copy of your acceptance letter. If you're already enrolled in a university on L-2 visa, then submit a letter from your dean's office confirming your major, degree program, expected program end date, and an official transcript. If you are in your first semester and do not yet have an official transcript, then make sure to request an official copy of your current class registration from the registrar of your college. Next is copy of primary L-1 visa holders' immigration documents. Now, L-2 dependents must provide proof that the primary visa holder, who could either be the L-1 spouse or parent, is maintaining their L-1 status lawfully. They must provide L-1 visa holders' passport, valid visa, valid I-94 or I-797, and employment verification letter along with recent pay stubs. Number 8, financial documentation. USCIS requires you to provide financial documentation showing that you have enough funds to cover your tuition and living expenses for at least 12 months. If the funds are in your name and from a United States bank, submit bank statements for the past 4 months, each showing a balance sufficient to cover the costs listed on your Form I-20. You are free to include other financial documents such as scholarship or assistantship awards, approved loans, or an official letter from a financial institution outside of the United States that confirms adequate funding. If the bank statements are not in your name, then make sure to include an affidavit or a letter from the sponsor stating that they will provide you with all the financial support that you need. Remember that all the documents must be in English and the currency must be in United States dollars. Number 9, personal statement. You must submit a typed personal statement explaining why you want to change your status from L2 to F1. Make sure to include details about why you initially entered the United States on an L2 visa, how your goals and plans have changed since arriving, and any other relevant information or significant changes that might have happened that supports your case. As the F1 visa grants you a non-immigrant status, it is important to clearly outline your plans to return to your home country after your studies. You can add credibility to your case by elaborating how studying under the F1 visa will help you achieve your professional goals in your home country. And number 10, ties to your home country. Now, even though this is not mandatory, I would encourage you to show that you genuinely plan to return to your home country after your studies, especially because you're applying for a non immigrant visa like a student visa. This is because it is generally assumed that the applicants have an intent to stay in the United States unless they are able to prove otherwise. And therefore, by providing strong evidence of strong ties to your home country, you can demonstrate your intent to return. Some of these documents could be, say, a job offer or a current employment abroad. It could be financial interests like owning or inheriting a family business or investments. Or it could be showing property or land in your name, or details about your immediate family members like spouse or children who depend on you. Next, submit Form I-539 to USCIS. If you're applying alone without dependents or legal representation, you can file the form online. However, if online filing isn't an option for you, you'll need to complete Form I-539 on paper, include the required fee and documents, and mail it to USCIS. In most cases, you can submit your application online. First, create a USCIS account by visiting the USCIS website, selecting File Online for Form I-539 and setting up your account. Be sure to remember your username and password. Next, start filling out and completing Form I-539 using the USCIS website and instructions for guidance. Finally, upload all the documents that we discussed, including your change of status form I-20. Afterwards, pay the required USCIS processing fee to submit your application. Once submitted, you'll receive a PDF receipt known as Form I-797 Notice of Action, which includes a receipt number for tracking your application status. You can track your application status online, and it's important for you to regularly check your USCIS account, your email, and the case status page, as you may receive further instructions, request for actions, or a request for evidence, that is RFE, from USCIS. And at last, if your change of status is approved, you'll get an I-797 approval notice along with an attached Form I-94. Submit these to your college DSO, and then you'll be able to continue your studies under the new F-1 status. Now friends, let's look at the processing timeline. After you've applied to USCIS to change your status to F-1, you must remain in the United States while your application is being processed. The processing times can vary significantly, ranging from 30 days to as long as 12 months. Given this variability, it is crucial to plan ahead. It is best to start the process as soon as you have clarity about your plans to switch to an F-1 status, ideally somewhere between 12 to 18 months before your current status or visa expires. This ensures you have enough time to navigate the application process and respond to any request for evidence or any new requirements that might arise, helping you avoid last-minute hassles. Now friends, as far as traveling is concerned, if you leave the United States while your change of status to F-1 is still pending, your application will be considered abandoned. This means you will need to apply for an F-1 visa in your home country, following the process for new students in order to re-enter the United States to pursue your education. Now friends, let's quickly understand the difference between status change and visa. Changing your status to F-1 while in the United States allows you to stay and study at a university, but it does not grant you an F-1 visa. This visa is necessary if you plan to re-enter the United States after traveling abroad. So essentially, the F-1 status change lets you stay in the United States for your studies, but if you leave the country, even for a few days, you'll need to obtain an F-1 visa from a US embassy or consulate to return to the United States without any delays. And therefore, be sure to plan ahead if you intend to travel on an F-1 status. Friends, I've created a simple video explaining in depth the difference between a visa and status in significant detail, which I think you'll find really helpful. So be sure to check it out. And friends, this wraps up our video for today. Friends, if you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing for more content on visas and immigration. I wish you all the very best with your upcoming visa transition and your journey towards achieving your goals. May your application be met with success, and until next time, safe travels!